Okay, open python.org, go to downloads, click at downloads, scroll down, and you can see here download Python. Click on that. So Python will start downloading. I've already downloaded, so I'm gonna cancel it. Okay, let's open that downloaded thing, that is desktop. Okay, I've saved that. Okay, so that window will show up. You have to click on customize installation. Okay, double click on that and make sure to check all of these options: documentation, pep, TCL, and TK, ideally Python test suite. Okay, and also these. Okay, everything, just check everything and click on next. Here you have to give the path. Okay, it by default it picks up the default location, but if you want to change, you want to install Python somewhere else, just click on that and change the Python in your PC. Okay, so I'm gonna install this at default location and click on install. It will start downloading, but it will start installing. Okay, but I'm not gonna install because I've already installed it. Okay, so let's start. So I'm gonna cancel it. Okay, um just a second. Okay, it's now canceled. If once it is installed, click the Windows button. Okay, and find IDLE, that will open up this Python IDLE. Click on that. Okay, you can see now it is open. Here we will start our Python programming coding. Okay, so let's start with the basics. In every programming language, we deals with different kind of data. Okay, like sometimes normally everywhere data comes up at random times with users. Okay, so whatever comes in, you need to store that data. Okay, like if my age is, and I want to save my age and my name, and programming language, any programming language, I have to create variables. Okay, create variables. So what is a variable? Variable is variables holds variables are the memory spaces. Okay, which hold some value. Okay, variable is a memory space that holds some values. So my name is a variable, so I want to create a name for my name. So I will say my name is equals to Sensaj. Okay, click enter. My name is saved, so I want to show that on screen. So you have to use the print function if you want to show anything on the screen. So in that way we print out different things. Okay, I want to save my age, so I will create a variable. My age is equal to my age. Okay, and if I want to save my location, I will say Lahore, Pakistan. Okay, so just print age. That way you can print different variables. So location. Okay, I can directly print my name without using the variable. Like I want to say that my name is Hussain Sajid, I can do it directly. Okay, but if I'm gonna do it directly now, I cannot use this text again. Okay, if I want to reuse that text again and again, so I have to create a variable. So once variable is created, you can use that variable thousands of times. Okay, in that given program. Okay, so that's why you have to create your variable. So next thing is that assigning a value to a variable. So you can see that this Hussain Sajid was the value. Okay, and this was a variable name. So whenever you create a variable, its value stores on the right side of the equal sign. Okay, equal right side, whatever is on the right side is the value. whatever is on the left side is the variable name. Okay, and what is a variable? Variables is are the reserved memory spaces that stores different values that hold different kind of data, so that we can use it laterally at different scenarios and different scenarios. Okay, so next thing is data types. Okay, so one thing more, if I want to create different variables, like I have name one is equal to Hussein, this is one variable. Name two is equals to, say, Sophia. Name three is equal to Ahmad. Okay, so in that way we create multiple variables one by one. But what if I want to use multiple, I want to create multiple variables in single line? So just type name one comma name two comma name three, and that way we can assign different values to, like, Hassan comma Ali comma Bob. These are three names. So first name will be assigned to the first variable. That first name will be assigned to the first variables. Okay, that is name one. The second name Ali will be stored to the second variable name two, and that Bob will be stored in the third variable called name three. Now let's press enter. Now print it one by one. Name one. So you can see Ahsan. Okay, and name two, if I want to print that, and name three. Okay, so one thing you have noticed that I created name one here and I assigned Hussein here, but it is printing here Ahsan. Why? This is called overwriting. Okay, this is called overwriting in programming. If you create a variable with same name and you have already created that variables, so the old value will be removed and new value will be saved in that same variable. This is called overwriting the value of a variable. Okay, another thing is that what if I want to store same value in different variables, like if fruit 1 is equal to apple. Okay, fruits 2 is equal to apple, fruit 3 is also equals to apple. Okay, so all of these variables, like fruit 1 have apple, fruit 2 have apple, fruit 3 have apple. But what if I want to save that values in a single line, same value in these three variables? So just type fruit 1 is equal to fruit 2 is equal to fruit 3 is equals to banana. Now all of these three variables have the same value called banana. Okay, print fruit 1. You can see, oh sorry, spelling mistake, I have written here fraud 1. Okay, and fruit 2 is banana, fruit 3 is also banana. Okay, so in that way we can assign different values in that. Okay, now let's discuss about the data types. What is a data type? Data type is the type of value that the data have. Like there are, I'm going to discuss about basic three data types values. One is numbers. Okay, second is text. Okay, so numbers have a variable type. One is integer, other is float, and another which is complex. Okay, and text have string, so we'll discuss about strings in this. Okay, so normally we use these three variables types, data types: int, float, and strings. Okay, integer, what is a integer? Integer is a whole number. Okay, like 5, 6, 7, anything that is without decimal places is called integers, and anything with you can say with decimal values like 25.3 real values, they are of float data type in Python. Okay, and complex is a little bit different thing, so just omit this for now. Okay, and string is anything within double quotation, single quotation. Okay, so these are strings. Like anything between double quotation is a string. Like it can be just alphabetics, it can be numeric values, or it can be both alphanumeric. Okay, so let's move to our old things. So you can see here I have used here banana. This was a string. Okay, and I created a variable with name age. Okay, that was an integer value. Okay, like I'm gonna again create some variables like name comma age comma distance is equals to name as Hussain Sajid. Okay, age is 25, distance is for 3.2 miles. So just click enter. This is of string data type, this is of integer data type, and this is of, sorry, I created distance. Okay, this is of float data type. Okay, so these were the data types. So let's learn about arithmetic operators. What are arithmetic operators? Which is plus, minus, multiply, divide, and remainder. So these are the 5 arithmetic operators that we use. Okay, why we use plus? When we want to add two numbers. Why we use this? When we want to subtract two numbers. When we do this, when we want to multiply two numbers. When we do this, when we want to divide two numbers. And what is this? It is whenever you don't want your answer in decimals, float numbers. So what you do, you create, you want to get remainder. Okay, like if I divide 5 by 2, the answer is 1. Remainder will be 1 and answer will be 2. Okay, so if you only want to get remainder, then you will use this remainder sign. Okay, so let's practice them. You can see if I have num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 2. So I want to add these two numbers. So num1 plus num2 will be 12. Num1 minus num2 will be 8. Num1 multiply num2 will be, sorry, num1 multiplied by num2 is 20. Num1 divided by num2 is 5.0. And if I want to get remainder, obviously it will be 0. So num1 remainder num2 is 0. Let's, like, a is equal to 5, b is equal to 2. Now if I divide this by this, we will say remainder is 1. Okay, so it divided 2 to the 4 and remainder is 1. Okay, so little bit about string concatenations. Okay, so number one is first name. I'm going to create two variables. First name is equal to say Hussein. Last name is equals to Sajid. I want to combine them into name equal f name plus l name. And now I want to print them, so it will return me Hussein Sajid without any space. Okay, so if I want to place, so this plus was a concatenation here. So we just discussed that plus in arithmetic operators, and it was adding two numbers, but now it is returning me just joining two different strings. Why? Python is an intelligent language. In this language, like other languages, you don't have to specify the data types of different variables. Okay, like if you're working in Java, C++, or C Sharp, or some other language like JavaScript, VB.NET, you have to specify the data types. Okay, like it is an integer, it is a floating real numbers, or it is a string, it is a boolean, it is a character. You have to specify the data types. Okay, but in Python, we don't have to specify the data types. It is an intelligent language, so it automatically detects the data type of the variables. Okay, so it detected that first name and last name are two different strings, and when you place plus between two strings, it means that you want to join those two strings. But what if you want to instead of joining, then you want to place space between these two names. So f name is equal to f name plus a space and plus whole name. Now if I print name, so I will get a space. Okay, so that's how you can concatenate two different strings in Python. Okay, but if you're working with print statement, so in that way, f name plus l name, you will get this. But print f name comma l name, will get a space between them. Whenever you place a comma in a print statement, print function, it automatically places a space between them. Okay, so remember that. One thing more, I have a string st, I say rand is equal to a string anything. Okay, now I want just first five characters. Yeah, I want to check which is the fifth character. So I will just type rand in square brackets. I will type 5. It is returning me f. Let's count that: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I typed 5. It is returning me 6. So why it is happening so? So every character D, F, K have a position. Position in programming languages we call it index. Okay, what is an index? Index is the position of something, and programming languages start indexing by 0. In real life, we start counting by 1. If we have to allot chair numbers, then we start that this is first chair, this is second chair, this is third chair, this is fourth chair, and fifth, and so on. But programming languages, in term of positions, they starts from 0. So if I typed 5 here, which means that I am calling 6 character, which was that f. You can see these are the 6 characters. If I want 10th character, exactly 10th character, which means that I have to type 9 here, because it starts from 0 and 9 means the 10th character. Okay, so another thing is slicing. Slicing means dividing into multiple parts. So what if I want a new string starting from the third character and ending at seventh character? Okay, or by default ran, suppose I want to start from 0, and how many characters I want? 5. Okay, now it will start from 0 and first 5 characters are here. You can see this first means, let's type in a comment rand start colon number of characters I want. Okay, this is, that means, like what is rand? Rand is the name of a variable. Okay, and this is the starting position, and after colon 5 means how many characters I want from zeroth position. Okay, so number of characters, how many characters you want, you place here, or you can see that you want to end at 5, which means that it will end at 4. Okay, because 5 characters means it will always return one less than this written value. Okay, so again, suppose rand start from 3 till end. So I don't know the end position, so I will place it empty. So you can see it skipped first 2 characters. It started after 3 Okay, and 3 means fourth character. Okay, like I just told you that the indexing starts from 0. Okay, so 3 means the fourth character until end. If you don't know the end, just place it empty, it will go till end. So if you want to start from first character and you want to go to 10th character, so you will leave it empty. Okay, colon 10. So it starts from 0 and ends at 9. So you can count these are 3, 3, 6, and 4 tens, but indexing 10 means 11th character. Okay, indexing starts from 0. So in that way, one thing more. I want to check last 5 characters. Okay, so I would say rand starts from last 5. If I type minus, it will start from right side. Okay, I want to print last 5 characters until end. Okay, JKLST last 5 characters. Okay, so that was the slicing. So let's move to new topics, which is arrays. Okay, what is an array? I went to a shopping mall and I did shopping for my kitchen. Okay, grocery store. So I'm calling shopping. Just shop is equals to I purchased eggs and I purchased carrots. I purchased steak. Okay, I purchased something like apples. Okay, so if I want to check how many items are there in my shopping list, I cannot do that. I cannot count the in that way. It is just a variable that holds 4 items, but there's no way for me in Python that I can count them. So what for that I have to create shop one is equals to put all this in square brackets. Okay, and place everything in square brackets. Everything in square, so in double quotations. So now I can count how many items are there and I can check my first item using shop one into square brackets. I want to check my first item. So I have to mention it 0, means 0 position means first item, and shop one into my second item, which is at position 1, index 1, shop 1 into 2, catch up, and shop 1 into 3. Okay, suppose let's discuss more about this thing that, that we created. It is just a variable, we cannot do this with that. If I type 1, it will return me G at this position. Okay, and the meeting time, actually I'm using free use Zoom meeting, so meeting is about to over, but it will automatically restart. So if it ends, you have to rejoin. Okay, it will automatically starts after 40 minutes. Sorry, like we're going to close it in couple of minutes. So it will start approximately again in 5 to 7 minutes. So if the meeting's end, you have to rejoin it. Okay, so moving to arrays, let's discuss about further. That was how we can store items in an array and how we can again get them. Okay, and I want to another array like marks is equals to 25 comma 32 comma 454 625. Okay, and I'm gonna, instead of mark, I'm gonna marks 1. another array marks 2. Okay, it's 26 comma 15 comma 9. Okay, these are two different arrays. If I want to make a single array using this two array of marks, so I have to write marks is equal to marks 1 plus marks 2. So now if I get print marks, you can see their first four items are from the first array, okay, and last three items are from the second array. Okay, so in that way you can join, concatenate two different arrays, you can merge two arrays into a single array. Okay, now what if I want to check how many items are there in my shop one array? So just type len, it means that there are four items. Okay, how many items are there in my marks array? There are seven items. Okay, so you can count, these are seven values, and above there are four items. Okay, so what if I want to check the maximum value in my marks? Okay, so marks dot max, sorry, max n square brackets give the name of the array. So it is saying that maximum number is 54 in that marks array. What if I want to check minimum number? So that will give me a minimum number. Okay, and I want to check how many times there is like marks dot count, and I want to count 15 there. How many times 15 is there? It means one time. Okay, it give me one less than that. And another thing, if I want to count, sorry, I have written a string here, so it is returning me 0. Marks dot count, now it will return me 1. So it tried to find 15 as a string data type, so there was no 15 with string data type. And when I written at 15 with integer data type, it returned me that it is there for one time. So I want to add three more students in my marks list, marks array. So I have to type append, and I'm again want to 15. So it will add 15 at the end of the marks array. I'm gonna again add append and 18. So now if I print marks, so you can see that 15 and 18 are added at the end of array. So in that way, if you want to update your array, list array, so you can do this in that way, dot append functions. Okay, so let's move to another type of array. First type of array was list. Another type is dictionary. What is a dictionary? Dictionary is similar to list arrays, but in list arrays it uh, assigned itself the index number, the position, like first number is at 0 position, next number is at 1 position, then 2 position, and third position. What if I want to assign position with my own choice? I want to say first position is 7, second position is 11, third position is 25. In that way we use dictionaries. Okay, dictionary is similar to array, but it don't use square brackets. Again, marks, and I want to save with the student names, so it use curly brackets instead of square brackets. I want to save marks for Hussein, and marks are 25. So this Hussein is known as key, and this is known as value. Key means key is similar to index position. And another student Ali, and I want to save its marks. Okay, now marks, instead of writing here 0 or 1 as an index number, I will write So it is returning me 25. So I have saved 25 against this key, this index number. And if I want all of them, so I will just type marks, okay? And it will return me the whole array, sorry, dictionary array, okay? And if I want marks against Ali, so it will return me 25. Okay, so that was the dictionary. If I forgot that what were the keys or the index numbers that I created, so I want to check them, so I will just type marks dot keys, and it means it is saying me that I created two different uh, keys, okay, two index numbers in my, okay, in my dictionary. And I want to check what are the values saved in my dictionary, so I will just type marks dot values, so it will determine that 25 and 65 are the two values in my dictionary. Okay, and if you want to add another, like in arrays we concatenated, we join two different arrays, so I'm creating marks 1 is equal to, this is a new dictionary, so I have more students in my class, Alia, whose marks are 55, and Sophia, whose marks are 33. And now I want to append my dictionary using this. So if I want to append like this, marks dot append into marks 1, it will not allow me. So, like in dictionaries, you cannot use the append function. Okay, so it means that we have to use some other way. So, what is that? Just type marks dot update function. In dictionaries, we have an update function. Marks dot update in bracket, give the new dictionary marks 1. Okay, now print marks, you can see that array, that dictionary array is updated, and now the new two values are there. Okay, and let's move to another type of arrays which is similar to arrays but a little bit different. It is tuples. Okay, what are the tuples? Tuples are similar to normal dictionaries or arrays, list arrays, but there is a difference. You cannot update, you cannot delete in tuples. Like you have sometimes, you have my locations and you have my all the informations, but I applied that my information is incorrect and please correct it. So you cannot correct it, you have to create again a new tuple to update my values. Like tup is equals to, we use parentheses here, and I can say maths 22